Before 1994, no one has ever really heard of Irish dance or even knew what it was. But the show Riverdance changed all of that and was a catalyst in the spread of Irish dance all over the globe, showing audiences a new, unique art form never before seen. Today, people of all ethnicities and in many different countries are able to find a school and learn about this art form. As people from different backgrounds were able to learn about this art, the art was able to grow and flourish into the sport that it is today. This can be seen in dancing itself, where one of the biggest influencers of Irish dance is ballet. Ballet is one of the most well-known and popular dances today, and many dancers start with this ballet before switching to another form. And also, in order to make it in the professional dance world, these dancers must be trained in a background of ballet. And so, another reason that ballet is also very popular in picking different dances to choose from is because of the similarities between the two art forms, where they both have erect, stiff upper bodies, turned out feet, pointed toes, and crossed feet, and they stand in fifth position. And so, many jumps are used to increase the artistry of both hard and soft shoes. These jumps include the entre and royales. For hard shoes, the point shoes. And point was created for ballet in order to make the style more feminine. And again, this is seen in hard shoe, where many of the female dancers use point as to increase the femininity of the very masculine style of treble shoes. But ballet was not the only influencer, in which that modern dance styles like jazz, where the compass turn is used, and the moonwalk made popular by Michael Jackson. But these changes were not only seen in the dance itself, but also in the dresses. Originally, dancers wore their Sunday best for competitions, and then soon costumes became a norm. For females, it was a knee-length, three-panel, long-sleeve dress, where they were handmade by both family and close friends, where the knotwork and symbols were chosen by the dancer herself that represented both their family name and themselves. And typically, because of the symbolism of these dresses, these dancers will only get 3 to 4 dances throughout their dancing career. But as Irish dance spread across the world and competition got even more competitive, the competition dresses got flashier in order to capture the judges' attention. These dresses used bright colors and sparkly fabric, but still kept the original designs. But soon the skirts got shorter and new skirt designs and patterns were introduced in order to regain the judges' attention. But no longer were these dresses made by family and close friends. Instead, dressmakers were chosen to create these dresses for the dancers, and these dressmakers will use the newest fashion trends that are seen all over the world. In those years, it was whoever had the flashiest and brightest dress was considered the trendsetter for the Irish dance world. But most recently, more and more dressmakers are looking towards fashion trends presented at Fashion Week. Most notably is the latest fabric over new fabric, where the fashion statement was presented at the Met Gala and previous fashion shows. These dresses were showcased at the 2015 World Championships, and many fashion designers picked up and showcased their own interpretation of this trend. But it's not only fashion trends that determine the hottest trends for solo dresses, but also the dancers' own life. For instance, many Asian dancers decided to use elements of their own heritage, like Japanese cherry blossoms and Chinese characters. And eventually, these cherry blossoms actually spread their own trend of 2014, where using flowers on dresses instead of the classic knotwork. The trend of other cultures influencing the host culture is seen in sushi as well, where in the article How Sushi Went Global, sushi started as a strictly Japanese-only cuisine, but soon this cuisine spread to other countries and cultures, where the host cultures then influenced the type of sushi that is made in order to please the majority of their customers. For example, in the US, the California roll was created to give vegetarians an option, like how ballet and jazz and other styles influence Irish dance in order to give dancers a more unique style of their own. Also, many of the big-name dressmakers are currently in Ireland and in New York. So for many of these dancers, it is impossible to meet for consultations where the designing of the dress and picking the fabric occur. So in cases like this, Skype is the most preferred method of communication. This eliminates the space because even though the dancer and designer are far apart, they're still able to interact in the same time. This is the same also for many college dancers who live far from their home and dance studios. In these cases, dancers will practice on their own and send videos of their dancing to their teachers for critiques. This allows dancers to continue their training away from home. And on a bigger scale, this is similar to how many Filipino moms raise their families. These moms had to travel overseas in order to get to work and money to raise for their families. And the only way to stay connected was through cell phones. So in order to stay part of their children's lives, they will call every day to learn about what's going on and to present discipline if necessary to these kids. Likewise, the teachers will overlook these videos and send their own critiques to the dancers, so the dancers continue improving their style even though they're no longer attending class. And also, as more and more individuals got involved in this art form, then making the competition that much tougher. So in order to get to the top and stay there, many dancers adopt an intense practice schedule, where they're practicing 2 to 3 hours a day for 6 to 7 days a week. Then they travel all over the globe for competitions. Similarly, in the Jet Lag Luxury article, businessmen travel far and wide in order to meet meetings out further their company, and will constantly work in between these meetings, where during the travel is just more work in order to gain an upper hand against their competitors. Likewise, these dancers travel far and wide to compete with the best and to stay on top. And as Irish dance grew more popular, so did the stereotypes of Irish dance. And when you ask a regular person about Irish dance, they show you the typical stiff upper body with the flailing legs. This is mostly due to what is shown on popular TV. Many business executives present these images because this is what majority of the population knows and is familiar with. Similarly, in The Universal Child, TV executives only produce shows where the main character is a white, male, middle-class citizen that the public is familiar with, and they understand this, and so the TV execs will present these images in order to get the ratings up higher and to sell more of their product. Another important part in today's dance world is social media. Many schools and shows will use various social media outlets in order to promote the show. But more recently, these shows and performance camps will use different social media sites in order to conduct auditions. Cases, dancers simply upload a video, many times to YouTube or Facebook, and anyone that can vote for their favorite. Then whoever gets the most votes will get in the show, and then they are able to audition for the part that they want. But for some dancers, they are too young to audition, so they create blogs to show their journey of the hard work they put in for various major competitions like Worlds or Nationals. Also a place for them to post their own outlook on dance. Similarly, many girls in Arab countries like Egypt create blogs where they could be themselves without worrying what society will say about them, in order to honor themselves or their families in their ways of thinking. So though many things about the art form itself of dance has changed, and the way it is conducted, this style is still the same style that audiences have fell in love with 20 years ago.